Unfortunately, the district is not able to provide us any information about this person who they arrested, and they say that's because this individual is a minor. So they cannot confirm or deny if the person they arrested attends Friendship ISD. Yeah, Brian, of course, everyone is talking about that patient in Dallas, but here at UMC, they actually had an Ebola scare of their own just a few weeks ago. And earlier, Lubbock Fire and Rescue did confirm that there has been at least one fatality involved with this crash, assumed to be the pilot. This is sort of a do as I say and not as I do situation, because yes, I know I'm out here driving, granted with four-wheel drive, but if you don't have to be, I really suggest that you don't, especially when you consider the more than 130 accidents reported in Lubbock since just this afternoon. Now, Lauren and Brian, because this is still a pretty active investigation, a lot of officials still on hand here, I think a lot of the neighbors are trying to stay out of the way, but all of those I've spoken to very visibly shaken up about what happened here last night. Guys, everyone I've spoken to out here on the scene says this intersection is just a notoriously dangerous one, but as far as we know, this is the first fatal wreck to happen here in recent memory. It happened where Highway 62 meets Highway 207 right in downtown Rawls, right in front of the Dollar General, actually, if you're familiar with the area. And not only did Chisholm try to check himself into that facility, we're told that he was actually turned away when he went to do so. This is information we've learned from one of his attorneys, and the more we look into Chisholm's background, the more it really paints a portrait of a man who had a long-time struggle with mental illness. Hey, yeah, guys, you're completely right. The early voting numbers this year were down by around 9,000 compared to that last midterm election in 2010, but different story as far as the day numbers are concerned. It looks like even in the past hour, folks are getting off work, and it seems they are swinging by the polls on their way home. So now I'm going to ask Kim Davis with the County Elections Office to join us. She's going to help us kind of break down some of these numbers. Well, Lauren and Brian, tonight's the big night to determine if the Ducks or the Bucks are the best team in college football. And out here, Buffalo Wild Wings, a lot of fans I've noticed seem to be cheering for Oregon, but I'll tell you, those Ohio State fans, they are loud and they are proud. I want to introduce you to one woman I met who calls herself a die-hard Ohio State fan. Her name's Pam. She lives here in Lubbock. Pam, why such a big fan? Cars could, woo! Okay, we got some waves. We got some waves coming in from that truck, and that's just how high the water is out here. According to the Texas Education Agency, inappropriate relationships between teachers and students are on the rise. During the last school year, they investigated a whopping 179 different cases statewide. Out of those, 33% were committed by women. Now, if the leak at Servco had been any worse, crews would have had to put on a suit like this. It would protect both their lungs and their skin from hydrochloric acid. Hazmat says they receive calls like today's about once a month. As you said, a minor incident. Now, a big spill, that's pretty rare, but just in case, the team is always ready. And most people expect to be the stars at their own wedding, but one Lubbock couple who was married last Saturday might have been upstaged by their very unique ring bearer, something that they say they're totally okay with. Well, good evening and good to see you again. I'm Victoria Price. Old Man Winter making an unwelcomed return to the South Plains this weekend. So without any further ado, let's get you over to Kevin in the Weather Lab for more on what you need to know. What if your child was diagnosed with one of the rarest diseases in the world, a disease that causes things like blindness and even heart failure? Well, that scenario is exactly what one Lubbock family is facing. Their daughter, one of the only documented cases of Alström syndrome worldwide. But if you think that all sounds like something out of a TV show, listen to this. A Garland man is offering up free beer for life. That's right, for life. In the coming days, investigators will recreate the accident to try and get a better idea of what exactly happened earlier today. It's too soon to say which driver the fault lies with, but many folks I spoke to on scene say it's the intersection there that's to blame.
There's been a lot of wrecks here over the years.
Tuesday afternoon, a fatal wreck in Rawls. Around 3:30, a red pickup traveling eastbound on Highway 62 broadsided this silver Buick at the intersection of FM 207. According to his brother, the driver of the pickup was taken to University Medical Center for some injuries, but first responders pronounced the driver of the Buick dead on the scene. Rawls residents who witnessed the aftermath of the wreck say this intersection is notoriously dangerous. In fact, the brother of the pickup driver says it's the second time his brother's been in an accident in this very spot. In Rawls, Mayor Heath Barrett agrees the intersection just isn't safe.
It's just a bad intersection.
While we're told this is the first fatal accident to happen here in recent memory, considering what a dangerous intersection it is, the mayor of Rawls says it was really just a matter of time until one turned deadly.
It's very unfortunate, and this is the first fatal accident that I know of that's ever been here. Like I said, there's been a lot of accidents, but nothing fatal.
But Verrett hopes today's loss may just be enough to prompt some change.
You know, maybe by this happening, that maybe we can get something changed to keep it from happening again.
Now, the intersection was partially closed to traffic for hours because of that crash, and it took accident investigators more than 3 hours to clear the scene. These agencies are really going back to the drawing board to step their recruiting game up. Some creating new accelerated academy programs, and others you might even find advertising on your favorite smartphone app.
I can tell you the numbers have declined.
It's a problem law enforcement agencies are facing all across the nation. Officer recruiting numbers on the decline, and the South Plains are no exception.
There's a lot of competition out there for recruits.
Some departments believe scrutiny over officer-involved deaths, such as in Ferguson, Missouri, may be creating an anti-officer attitude.
We do live in a fishbowl as police officers. However, those incidents are relatively low compared to what the number of police officers we have, so we don't want anybody to be discouraged by that.
You see a lot of negative things on the news now. It could deter someone from wanting to become a police officer, and it's sad because it's such a vital job.
It's a trend pushing some departments, like Norman Police in Oklahoma, to start getting creative, taking inspiration from Frozen in an attempt to heat up their recruiting game. Back here at home, the efforts are less silly, but Lubbock police are hopeful their new recruiting initiative will be just as successful.
We're reaching out through social media, through billboards in eastern New Mexico, Colorado, and even the Dallas Metroplex area. We've even expanded recently to game apps. For example, Words with Friends. We advertise on there as well.
And over at DPS, they've started a new accelerated academy to entice recruits with law enforcement experience. It takes just 8 weeks to complete, and within 6 months, those new troopers could be making more than $71,000 a year.
No, that's not small change.
But even with competitive benefits, both agencies say it takes more than paychecks to attract the right recruits.
We're looking for a particular type of person, and that's who we want to target.
It's not about the money per se, it's about making a difference in this world.
And both of those agencies, they aren't just pushing for new recruits in general. They say they're also really pushing for female recruits, something that I found interesting. And if you have any interest in learning more about that new DPS Academy, you can find that information under this story on everythinglubbock.com.
If it is broken and they know it's broken, I expect them to fix it.
Some of the residents at the Fabian Mobile Home Park north of Lubbock currently stuck in a sticky situation.
There's open cesspools, and as you can see, there is toilet paper and turds in my yard.
All because of a backed up septic system, one that residents say has been like this for months. And they say desperate pleas to the management to fix it have been ignored.
Then it started coming in my backed up into my house. We were in knee deep in crap up to our knees in my bathroom for 2 weeks. I kept telling them and telling them and telling them. They would not listen and never have listened since.
Not only is it nasty to look at and live next to, Kramarenko says this mess means her little granddaughter can't even play outside.
I don't think nobody in their right mind would let their kids come out and play in the yards.
And she's not the only one who's had to suffer through the sewage.
I've had it coming all the way up to my steps, and there was not even no way to avoid but walking into it.
Miller says the stench is unavoidable, even inside her house, and she's afraid it's recently made her and her daughter sick, which is why she's come up with the following solution.
I think this whole thing needs to be shut down.
The whole park?
Yeah. Due to the fact that I've told them many times that, hey, we need to get something done about this whole issue, and nothing's being done about it.
Victoria Price, KMAC News.